Hello everyone, welcome to the March 20th, 2016 edition of the Astrology News Report. I'm Ron Berger, your guide to what's happening in the heavens. In this segment, we'll take a look at the upcoming planetary patterns and predictions. What's on the celestial agenda for March 20th to March 27th and beyond. Okay, a bunch of things going on in the zodiac this week. First up, it's a full moon on Tuesday, March 22nd at 9 degrees in Virgo in the sidereal zodiac. This marks the culmination of the energy of the Hindu lunar month of Falguna, named for Uttara Falguni, the nakshatra, the lunar sign, that the full moon falls in the lunar zodiac. This sign is known for friendship, for healing, and for benefiting from one's in-laws. But since this month was born on a total solar eclipse, the energy of the month was spoiled. So don't expect too much in the way of tangible results from this full moon. Couple of other things about this full moon. It's also a lunar eclipse. But not a total lunar eclipse. This one is an annular lunar eclipse, meaning that the shadow of the Earth doesn't completely cover the disk of the moon. Eclipses, in general, signify that changes are coming. A planet that gets involved with an eclipse gives some clue about what sorts of effects the eclipse will have. This lunar eclipse is directly opposite Mercury, the planet that rules Virgo, the sign of the eclipse. Mercury itself is in Pisces, which is Mercury's sign of debilitation. Pisces is a watery, emotional sign, which means that the rational thinking planet Mercury is at a disadvantage here. So, this week is not so favorable for making important rational decisions. In this case, we can expect forthcoming changes and an emphasis on Mercury's significations, such as communications, data and information, explanations, the media, news reports, and so forth. On Friday, March 25th, Venus will be exactly opposite retrograde Jupiter. The planet of harmony and agreement is exchanging energy with the planet of optimism and wisdom. Both Venus and Jupiter are considered natural benefics in Vedic astrology. Natural benefics are more inclined to do good through their influence. So, this is a hopeful setup which could bring about some consensus or compromise leading to an agreement. But there's another factor that gets involved in the Venus-Jupiter opposition. Saturn is exactly at the midpoint of the two benefics. This sets up a pattern called a T-square, where the planet at the midpoint unbalances the exchange between the planets that are opposite, in this case Venus and Jupiter. Due to it being stationary before it goes retrograde, Saturn is super strong for effects. Thus, the reality check planet is in position to interfere with and unbalance the otherwise good energy set up by Venus and Jupiter. Venus is a planet of guidance. Jupiter is the planet of wisdom and judgment. Saturn is the planet of restriction, harsh reality, and potentially suffering. And it's blocking an otherwise positive Venus-Jupiter pattern and may in fact nullify any of what the benefic planets promise. Another thing that's happening on Friday, March 25th, is that Saturn begins its retrograde period. Each year, Saturn appears to go backwards in the zodiac for approximately 4.5 months. This year, Saturn will be retrograde until August 13th. Retrograde planets are strong. When the planet of harsh reality and responsibility is retrograde, circumstances become more onerous, burdensome, more serious. Saturn is a stubborn, unyielding type of energy, which becomes even more difficult to move when it is retrograde. The problem here is that retrograde Saturn has to share this part of the zodiac with Mars, the planet of action and fast results. Obviously, this is an inimical combination. Saturn frustrates Mars. Mars, meanwhile, is irritating to Saturn. The result is a lot of tension, pressure, and stress as the two planets get closer and closer together over the coming weeks. Okay, that's it for this week's report of what's happening in the zodiac. Sorry there wasn't more good news. Thanks for visiting astrologynewsreport.com. I'll be posting updates during the week as usual on Twitter @AstroNewsReport.